Hey, what's up, WCReplays.com? This is Orange doing an audio commentary. Alright, so this is going to be an orc mirror match between Grubby and what I believe to be a lake duck, which is deuce of clubs. We're going to be watching under Grubby's point of view, 1x speed, just so as you know. I'm going to leave Fog of War off because I'll be doing a lot of switching between, the differences in their playstyle and what they're doing. I'm also going to talk a lot about different strategies and how they are effective on either different maps or against other strategies that people are using. Because there are quite a few orc mirror strategies, especially compared to the amount of strategies that are used in other mirror matches, like Night Elf. Oh my god, hunts or bears? The tough decision of doom, I know. In orc mirror, it's kind of a playstyle selection, and I'll get into that a bit later. Also, a lot of things that differ are hero selection. Some people go Farseer Firelord, some people go Farseer Shadow Hunter, some people go Blade Master, some people do other things with Tauren Chieftain or Tavern Heroes, It's pretty sweet. Personally, I like the Orc Mirror matchup. It's a lot of diversity, and it's also the most balanced matchup. Alright, so now that I've got that over with, I'm going to get the replay unpaused, and we'll get this going. So, unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 46, 47, 48, you're good. Alright, so Grubby here is going to do a standard build as opposed to what a Lake Duck is doing, which is he's going to be doing a more fast tech build, which means he's going to have to either creep a couple greens, which won't be as effective, or he's going to have to harass. And the way you really decide whether you're going to creep or harass is by looking at the map. This map does have a lot of green camps, but it's so small that harassing is so much more effective. Like, if it was on something like Knollwood, you're probably better off creeping, just to be able to get the item advantage, because you can easily creep out separate camps and pick off certain units to get certain items. Of course, it's not as advantageous anymore because they patched it, bastards. I loved that patch. Lightning Shield saved my life. Anyways, what Grubby's doing is he's going to be doing a Blade Master with a creep type build, which is a little different because A, not many people go with the Blade Master, and B, not many people do a lot of creeping with the Blade Master. But the reason Grubby's going to be using the Blade Master for creeping is he's a pretty effective creeper, and it's better off to try and gain the creep advantage as opposed to the harassment advantage, especially against Orc, because they have the little burrows that they can just cycle their peons in and out. And all you're going to be doing is losing a lot of HP on your Blade Master, which won't allow you to get any advantage except for, maybe a little more of an economic advantage. But at the same time, they're allowed to, go out and creep at separate areas. It's also not great to harass with the Blade Master and Orc Mirror, because all you can really do is harass their base, because there's a lot of harassment going on with the Farseer. Like, he will just come in, as a Lake Duck's doing, and try and pick off some units, maybe deal some damage here and there with the Wolves. Either way, if you're going to be, using the Blade Master, you're better off trying to get the creep advantage early on, because they won't be doing as much creeping unless you can scout them early on and notice that they're not doing a fast tech. And if they're going to be going, with the 2 grunt tech with the Farseer, you can pretty much be guaranteed that they will be creeping the whole game. One thing to note is that Mr. Deuce of Clubs is building a Voodoo Lounge out in the middle. Anyways, I'm going to talk about advantages and disadvantages of quick teching. Quick teching gives you only one major advantage, which is the ability to get your second hero out a lot quicker and be able to put some pressure to stall their tier 2 buildings, which is really why a lot of people do the quick tech nowadays, because they don't want to lose too much of an advantage at the beginning of tier 2. And sure, you want the advantage all game, but you really don't want to be losing your tier 2 buildings early and letting them overwhelm you with, raiders and Kodo beasts. And also, if you don't have your tier 2 buildings up and you don't have any raiders, they can also really easily tower you. So it's one thing to watch out for. If you're not doing the quick tech, it gives you a really good, early game advantage, which does allow you to creep, and I guess in some cases it will allow you to really effectively harass them. All you can really do, though, is make sure that their Voodoo Lounge doesn't go up. That's probably the best way to harass an Orc. And the fact that their Voodoo Lounge won't be able to go up as quickly, or won't be able to go up when you're harassing them with your grunts or what have you. It just makes it a lot more of a pain in the ass for them, because especially with the Blade Master, because you can really hero snipe, and items are so important for the Orc, especially early game and pretty much during the entire game. Farseer, it's not as important if you're going to be doing a lot of creeping, but if you're going to be doing a lot of pressure and harassing, you really need your shop. Just gives you the speed scrolls and the clarities that you will need to be able to do, an effective push with Chain Lightning or, other things. So right now, Grubby is just doing the basic, kill the peons as they run in and out of the gold mine. But what a Lake Duck is doing is gaining a massive advantage. Oh, I didn't point this out, but Grubby was smart enough to pick up a Staff of Teleportation. Staffy. Wow. Which is a good item to have on a solo Blade Master. It's either that or a Boots of Speed. Really, for Orc, you only have the option to go one or the other. Anyways, right now, a Lake Duck is doing a really nice burrow harassment, and Grubby is doing the standard mass, repair. And the great thing about the way that Grubby does this is the fact that he ensures that he has enough time to gain an advantage with his Blade Master and be able to, get some good positioning, get some damage done, and really allow himself to get an advantage off of him focusing down a burrow for a while. Because he did pick up some experience with, the peon kills and such. But at the same time, he did lose a bit of an economic advantage. He did lose a burrow, but he did stall a Lake Duck enough to be able to heal up his, Blade Master in the back of his base and gain an advantage from there. Right now, you'll notice that Grubby's Blade Master is getting a little weak, but he does have a shop, as I pointed out earlier. Shops are very important to the Orc player, especially with a Blade Master, because you're going to be going through a lot of healing salve. That's pretty bad. Yeah, you're going to be going through a lot of healing salves because your Blade Master is going to be tanking a lot of damage. Ow. Sorry, I just banged my knee. Anywho, Grubby's now starting to set up his Tier 2 buildings, which is good. And one thing he does is he kind of puts it in the back of his base so that, a Lake Duck won't be able to come in and harass him cancel his Tier 2 buildings as easily as he would have been able to otherwise. A Lake Duck isn't really taking advantage of the fact that he did have a massive tech advantage. One reason was because, Grubby did kill a whole bunch of peons in the midst of the harassment. So, it was kind of a good move on Grubby's half to try and rebalance out how this matchup is going to be played. One thing that a Lake Duck does do this game is he's going to be going with a whole bunch of Kodo Beasts. And at this point of the game, I'd kind of recommend against it. You've lost a whole bunch of, peons for your wood. You're going to have let me recompose myself. You're going to have a smaller, wood advantage. You're not going to be able to do as much with it. You're better off trying to get a bunch of grunts and maybe pump out a couple raiders with one bestiary and wait until you have a more significant advantage later on in the game before you start doing the Mass Kodo Beasts. The reason that Mass Kodo Beast is effective with the quick tech is because really you're going to be able to outweigh their units with your Kodo Beasts. And the reason it doesn't work here is because he only has one bestiary worth pumping out these Kodo Beasts. And you really want to be able to overwhelm them so that you can pick them off really, really easily, and so that you actually still have some units to do some damage output. And the reason you're going to have your Kodo Beasts anyways is to devour the raiders. And the reason it's kind of bad just to have one Kodo Beast at a time is because they can do what Grubby's doing here, which is ensnare, hex, and focus that bad boy until it dies. One thing Grubby is doing that isn't so great, a Lake Duck is doing, is he's focusing his own grunt. I recommend against that. Anyways, Grubby's doing a nice job of doing one of those, picking off units as they come out of the rally jacking. That's what it's called. Oh, my bad. A Lake Duck does have two, bestiaries up. But as I said before, he has such a small wood income that it really doesn't give him an advantage to have both of them. So I'd kind of recommend against doing that, unless you are really good with the micro and you figure that you have a decent advantage. Anyways, right now, Grubby's going to be doing the standard